welcome to episode 2 of Weekend Opinions. I am your host, Esteban Ortega, and here with me once again is our special guest, Coulter Barnes.
Absolutely not. I am also a host here.
I don't think so.
Well, anyways,
What
have you been up to?
Hold on, before we get started today, I wanted to give a couple of shout outs to some people that have helped us get this podcast started. First off, to Hunter Adams, he helped with our intro music. The part of it is a tune he created. So thank you, Hunter Adams, for that.
And I'd also like to apologize to your guys' ears for that.
Yeah. And then second off, shout out to my friend Seb. He created our logo for this podcast. So big shout out to him. Thank you. Neither of us could have made anything that looked half as good as that. So thank you very much.
I don't even know how to do computer art.
Yeah, I know. And then thirdly, last but not least, shout out to my sister Mia. She helps edit the podcast after we finish recording. So thank you, Mia. And Coulter, do you have a corny joke for us today?
Oh, absolutely. I'll always have one. So where did Captain Hook buy his hook?
A
secondhand store.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
It's what? Yeah. Now, why did we decide? Like, people are going to hear these corny jokes and be like, "Oh man, this podcast."
Well, we decided because I don't know. I told some corny jokes, and we just thought it was funny. Also, my mom and I have a thing where we send each other terrible. She's ruined my sense of humor, but we send back terrible jokes back and forth to each other. So I have a ton of them saved up.
Nice. So we'll never run out.
Never.
All right. So today, Coulter, I wanted to talk about words that are weird for you to say, like that every time you have to say that word in that scenario, it just like makes you want to like mind vomit.
Yeah.
Like, so for me, hold on. So for me, it would like spill the tea. Ugh, I just can't say like spill the tea. It's just, no, why? Why is that a thing? Like, why did that happen?
But why is it so bad for you?
I don't know. I just hate saying the word tea in that situation. Like I'm going to drink some tea. That's not an issue. But like, hey, Coulter, spill the tea. I just can't.
You want me to tell you the gossip, give you the truth, give you the fact.
Yeah. Like, so is there any words for you like that?
Oh, there's a couple. And my brother says these all the time, and it's just, I hate it. I'll say it sometimes when I'm joking, but even then I hate it when I say it. It just come out of my mouth. Fire, like, that's so fire, or lit. I hate lit. I don't like it. And I think those are the two biggest ones that I don't like for the most part. They're just, I don't know what it is. It's just saying them sounds weird, you know? Like, that's fire, dude. That's so lit. Like, I don't get saying that. It's just weird to me. And I don't like it at all.
Just kind of makes you want to, like, just your brain just can't, like, it's just like, no, why?
Yeah, it's just, and I don't know who comes up with these words.
Yeah, and why, like,
they've destroyed the English language. It was already a messed up language to begin with, so
Yeah, English just doesn't make sense. Like actually language in general don't make sense. Like how did people come up with words? Like did they just look at a wall and be like, we're calling that wall? Like how? Like
I don't know,
huh?
because I want to know where the word duffel comes from. Duffel bag? What is,
Yeah,
like, they take a look at that thing and say, that right there is a duffel. I
I
don't,
know. Like and then colors. Like how did people come up with like what to call colors? Like
well, they had to distinguish them in some way, and I don't,
yeah,
a lot of words have, like, Latin roots and meanings and
right. But
stuff.
like the Latin roots, how did the
They come
Latin?
up with that.
Yeah, like a cup could have been called literally anything. Like you could call a cup Aizumi.
That is incoherent nonsense. So
But
maybe we wouldn't call it a, oh, yeah. It sounds like you're throwing up, but you could call it like a Bjork, and people would be like, okay.
yeah, like had the people who first came up with words, like I mean, they're just random sounds strung together. Like I mean,
Well,
now
that's what
they're
I find.
words to us.
Well, that's what I find so fascinating about, like, the human, because we're so I wouldn't say advanced. Well, we have a language. We're able to communicate with each other in a way that no other animals are able to. Animals can communicate with each other in different ways, but we're able to communicate with each other in a way that other animals can't, and we're able to design things that animals can't. It's just crazy to me that we can do all of these things that other animals can't.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know. That's just something that I've always been like why are words
You know, when you say a word over and over, it starts sounding weird, like squirrel. What is that
squirrel.
word? You know,
Hmm.
what is that word? Squirrel. It's a cute. It's a cue. It just squirrel. It sounds weird if you say it enough times, and it's just a weird made up word. Or curtain, curt, curtain. Like, how do you come up with that? It's
Yeah.
just, like you're saying, it's really weird to think about how people came up with words. But I think the one I'm most confused about is duffel bag. That I don't know what a duffel is. That
What about a garage
garage.
in different countries? Yeah. Like yeah, that's
In
another thing.
London,
Like
it's a garage.
in different countries, different words are pronounced. Like
Yeah.
in Europe, garage would be garage, and so like yeah,
I
that's
prefer a lot of the. I should live in Europe. I prefer the European speed of things. Garage. Hand me a biscuit, please.
yeah. The garage just sounds fancy. It's like
Honestly, it really does. Uh, what other words are like that? Where, like, if you say it in a different, say
the
it
loo,
a different pronunciation, it sounds better
the loo,
versus the American.
like the British word for bathroom, the loo. I'm gonna
The
go use
loo.
the loo. Like that just
Mhm.
sounds so
The lift.
fancy,
They
but
call an elevator the lift.
uh,
Um,
I I think elevator would sounds fancier than lift. Like
yeah, but
elevator,
I like it. I like saying the lift. Let's go on the lift. Or in Canada, they all their restrooms are called washrooms. I like that. The washroom. Because you'll go and it literally says washroom instead of restroom on signs.
that is interesting. I did not know that. Never
Yeah,
been out of the United States.
really?
I have not.
So I've been to two countries other than the United States, China and Canada.
Well, you are Canadian, so
Yep.
that
I
makes
am.
sense.
Yeah. Well, my dad's from Canada, so we go up there and visit family and stuff. But it's I love Canada. I think of it as a cleaner America, in all honesty. even one of their like they say it's a trashier city, Toronto. It's a nice city, but even that is super clean. It's
Mhm.
really crazy. I
Yeah.
like to imagine that people just go around and pick up random trash they see on the ground. Canadian way.
Yeah. The farthest I've ever been from New Mexico is New York, and that was for my 8th grade field trip.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
I did not.
I've been to a lot of states for hockey and stuff like that. I've been to New York. I haven't stayed. I flew into Buffalo and then I had to cross the border to go to Canada. That's the only time I've been to New York. I've been to a lot of the West Coast states. Where else? Oh, I went to Virginia because my sister had a thing in Washington, D.C., and she's actually going to go to school at Georgetown.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Wait, they're not actually. No, they're not. They were going back, and I think a couple days ago they just said they weren't going back. So she's not going there, but she's going to do
Oh,
online. She's doing online at Georgetown. So she was going to go and do a hybrid, but a couple of days ago they just said that they're not doing it, which sucks for her because it's super awesome. And she wants to work in politics, so being in Washington, D.C. would just be amazing for her, you know?
yeah. Yeah, that I've been to Washington D.C. also for my 8th grade trip. We went to D.C. and then to New York, and I really liked Washington D.C. It was like a really nice place, and like the weather was good. It like everything was just really nice there.
In the summer, it's so hot, though. It's the worst. It's
Uh,
humid and muggy.
well, I went during the summer, and it was humid, but not like unbearably humid. Not
When
like
I went, it
Florida.
wasn't. When I went, it wasn't. I mean, you're right. It's nowhere near as bad as Florida, but when I went, it was still pretty heat. It was just kind of muggy.
Yeah,
I remember texting you about that trip. I was in China when you went because we went on the same through the our schools used the same tour things,
yeah.
right?
The what was it called?
EF
Um,
or something. I have a
yeah,
bag.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the EF tours. Yeah, my trip was better.
Uh, I liked my trip. I got to go to a Broadway play,
Mhm.
School of Rock.
Yeah,
That was
I
really
got to
awesome.
I got to go to China. I ate a scorpion.
I ate uh, crab bisque,
Hmm.
basically equal, um,
So yeah,
equally exotic. Yeah,
I rode in one of those cool little the bike things with the cart on the back. I rode in one of those. That was fun.
yeah, that's
So
cool.
I'm actually cooler.
And remember when people were allowed to travel places?
Well, I don't remember what it's like. It's been so long. Well,
So hold on. So we, as you know, Coulter, we recently received our first fan mail, our first topic requests
mm,
from CHR07. Um,
yes.
so they asked for us to talk about music we enjoy, um, ideas we had, ideas for inventions that we've had, like yeah, and lies we believed as a child.
Yeah.
So I think we should music we enjoy would be a easy one to start with. Um, so what kind of music do you like, Coulter?
I like it's hard to really the way I describe my music is I like what I like and don't like what I don't like because I listen to everything.
Uh-huh.
You know, I listen to alt rock, I listen to rock, I listen to country music, I listen to rap, I listen to pop, I listen to Broadway, I listen to everything.
Yeah,
Um,
don't you have 4,000 songs on your liked songs playlist?
oh yeah, and Spotify, I have 4,837 songs in my like,
That
and
is insane.
That's not including and I have about a bunch of playlists that have about 300 songs on them.
That is crazy. My liked songs is 253, and that's just every song like that. Yeah. So since like we both have very sporadic tastes in music, let's so go to your like songs and click shuffle play, and then go to the queue and read off the first 5 on there.
All right. Right here, Let It Roll by Flo Rida. Say Amen by Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco, very good.
Pickle Rick by Eco. He's a rapper. Running from Here, Whit Lowry. He's a rapper. Never Gonna Let You Down, Colby Calliot. I can't say her last name, but she's a singer. And then another Whit Lowry song.
So the 5 here that I got are Small Town Boy by Dustin Lynch, Glad You Came by The Wanted.
Oh, that's a good one.
Billionaire by Bruno Mars.
Travie McCoy. Don't forget Travie.
Oh yeah.
It's by Travie McCoy featuring Bruno Mars. I know my music.
That is correct, yes. Travie McCoy featuring Bruno Mars. My bad.
Yeah, you're
Can't Hold Us by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis featuring Ray Dalton, and Simple Life by Nichelle DeRizzo and Chiad.
Yep, that
Very.
You like the early 2000s? Is it early? You like the 2010s, like early 10s music? There,
Those were
The Wanted. Glad You Came by The Wanted, Bruno Mars. There's some older, but those are great. So I just made a playlist with my brother, because I got my license recently, and so we were driving, and we made it, and it's just a bunch of songs that we have that were old, like let's see here. You Just Want My Money. Do you remember that song? You just want my money, money. That one, you know?
I do not remember that one.
Dang, we got some Taylor Swift on here. We have
old Taylor
Magic.
Swift or
old Taylor Swift.
That's yes.
Magic
New
by
stuff.
B.O.B. Bob. We got some Black Eyed Peas on here.
Oh, very good.
You gotta get some throwbacks in there.
Well, I have. So I also like a lot of pop and rock songs from like the 70s, 80s. Like I like AC/DC, Fleetwood Mac, Blue Suede, Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Suede. That's a good song. Yeah.
What about Queen?
Queen, yes. Yeah. I like a lot of the songs from Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
What about the Beatles?
The Beatles, there's only like a couple of their songs that I really like. I'm like the Beatles, I don't have anything against the Beatles. Obviously they were amazing musicians, but it's just I think I only have 2 of their songs on my playlist, so I mean it's not really my thing.
That's pretty good considering you don't have very many songs on your playlists.
Well, so on my like songs, it's songs that are some of my favorite songs. It's my 253 favorite songs that yeah.
Yeah. Well, my sister recently, I never listened to the Beatles that much. Like you said, I listened to them a little bit. Then my sister got obsessed with them and started playing them, and I really got into them. I like them a lot now. I listen to their music, and I think it's really good. It took me a little bit to warm up to it.
You were your connection wasn't great there. What were you saying?
Oh, so it took me a little bit to warm up to their music, but in the end, I think they really are amazing artists.
Yeah,
Listening
no,
to them and stuff. So,
for sure. Like I really like their song. Here comes the, or what is it? Hold on, man, I'm forgetting. What's the one with the rain and like sun? What's it called? Here comes the sun. Is that what it's called? Here comes the sun.
probably.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Let's
I really like that one.
yeah. Here Comes the Sun. Yeah, I like that one too. I
Um,
like Hey Jude.
that one's
Let It
not
Be.
bad.
I like Let It Be. I like Help. There's a lot of good ones that I like.
hmm Yeah. So, and then so the next uh topic we were asked about, where is it? Okay, ideas for inventions that you've had that like just like something that you thought, oh, that would be cool if someone made this.
Cool. You go first.
Okay,
I'm
hold on,
trying to.
give me a second. Let me think.
All right.
Uh,
This is a tough one.
it is. I know I've had like somewhere I'm just like that would be a really cool thing to have.
Exactly, but I'm not writing these down.
Right, yeah. Oh, I got one. So this one is not at all realistically possible. It was just be like a very futuristic invention idea I had. So an umbrella, right? It's like an umbrella can come be very useful when it's raining and like you don't want to get wet and stuff, but it's really annoying to carry around an umbrella. Like how often when it rains are you actually like, oh yeah, I have an umbrella. Everyone owns an umbrella, but no one carries it around with them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Well, I throw mine in the car just in case.
in the future, there will be like an app you have on like your watch, and it will just like project like virtual umbrella, like kind of like a little force field above your head.
Well, there's this device in Japan, I think, and it's like an umbrella, but it shoots out air. So it doesn't have an actual. It shoots out air and keeps the water away. So it's basically it's like a force field of air. And so maybe if your little watch shot up just a bunch of air
Yes,
like
like
that,
that. There we go.
boom, there it's already more realistic. Not really. So what I was thinking is, nope, I never mind. I stole that from, what did I steal? I can't remember. Okay, so listen to this. So you know how you have a bunch of toys, right?
Mhm.
Lying around. So what if you had like a vacuum?
Oh, I know where you stole this from.
And no, but listen. So yeah, you have a vacuum, but it
Uh,
like sucks them up and puts them on a shelf in a line. Like it scoots them. So it's a little box, right? And there's shelves, and so every time you suck something up, it sets it on the shelf, and then the little back of the vacuum moves over one, and then it sets it on the shelf, and then it moves over, and then it moves over. You know?
I am pretty sure I know where you got this idea.
Where?
So like I have two younger siblings, so I've watched a lot of Disney Channel. Pretty sure that on the show Stuck in the Middle,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the main characters' inventions.
Oh, see, I watched like 2 episodes of that. I never watched it. You know where actually stole it from?
Where
The Office.
I've
David
never seen
Wallace.
that.
Well, the owner or the CFO of Dunder Mifflin gets laid off, and he comes up with this idea for a toy vacuum called Suck It. But then he ends up selling it to the military for something. I forget what they use it for. But he sold it to the military, so it was never used for toys. But I don't know. I thought I was clever, and then I remembered I stole it from somewhere. It's hard because I feel like I've had a lot of these, but I don't write them down, you know?
And then you can like have an original idea and then find out, oh no, it wasn't actually original. Someone thought of this separately a long time ago and I unknowingly stole it.
Yeah, exactly. You think of something and it somehow exists already, but you didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. Well, I think it's crazy how people come up with the stuff that they've come up with. Like, who would have thought to create the light bulb, like electricity, use it to make light? How, I don't know how you would think of that.
Yeah.
Or find the materials used to do it. But it's crazy.
Inventing is definitely hard.
You want to know what's crazy? Like how we're talking about stealing from stuff. How many inventors have had their stuff stolen. Or do you know Alexander Graham Bell, the creator of the telephone?
Uh-huh.
There's another man who had a better idea. So it was the same idea, and they applied for the patent around the same time. But so this other guy's was actually better. It was a better design. And Alexander Graham Bell paid one of the people on the board, I guess, to get the design for him. So then he ended up using the design, got an appointment ahead of him, and got the patent.
Oh man.
So Alexander Graham Bell didn't create he got the patent for the first telephone, but he didn't create the best first telephone. So
yeah, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Well, I have a little book called Napoleon's Hemorrhoids.
That is a very interesting title.
Well, Napoleon's Hemorrhoids and Other Small Events That Changed History. So the reason it's called that is because at the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon had hemorrhoids, and he couldn't go survey the field like he does before every battle.
Oh.
Because he had severe stomach pains. Then he ended up losing the Battle of Waterloo, but he might have won the battle if he hadn't had the hemorrhoids.
What? Yeah,
surveyed. So this is just a bunch. So this is a little book full of a bunch of interesting little things. Yeah, it's Napoleon's Hemorrhoids and Other Small Events That Changed History, and it's by Phil Mason. It's a really cool book. I like it. It's just small factoids that you would never think of, like how the Band-Aid got created, or how many times Hitler was almost killed or assassinated before he killed himself. It's just crazy.
That sounds very interesting. I think we'll leave a link to that book in our show notes, so if anyone listening wants to check it out.
For sure.
That does sound interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so the third topic that they requested we talk about, lies you believed as a child. Is there anything you believed as a child that later you found out isn't actually true?
Well, my parents never really lied to me. I was just sheltered, so I wasn't told things, and I never really found out. So I remember one story. So I was in second grade, and I knew the middle finger was a bad thing, but I didn't know what it meant. And one of my friends came up to me and was mad at another friend of ours. And so he comes up and like shields his hand and holds up the middle finger. He's like, this is what I think of him. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I had no idea what it meant. So I was like, So I was like, I guess he's being mean to him. I didn't know. Or my sister was listening to a song one time and it had the F word in it. And I asked what it meant. And they just said, well, my parents said, don't worry about it. Nothing. So that was kind of,
That's a
so
reasonable response.
yeah, I was pretty sheltered. So there wasn't a lot to lie about because I never really asked a question about something
Yeah.
they would have to lie about.
Yeah, I couldn't think of any examples of this for me, but I was talking to my grandma and she said so when she grew up, so she grew up in just this little town on a mesa, and like so she so back then she didn't have like the best education available. So like stuff
Mhm.
that we would know, like that would be common knowledge today, like she was never taught. And so she was on this mesa, and something she believed as a kid is she's just her entire childhood was just there. She thought that mesa was the entire world. Like she thought where just that mesa was, that like there wasn't anything past that. Like she had never been
Wow,
anywhere else.
that's crazy.
Because no one ever told her, oh yeah, there's other places. She just assumed
Mhm.
that,
There's just
oh,
that one inch you never left.
this is all there is. There's nowhere besides here. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought of a lie I did believe. When my mom told me that I was a handsome kid. Yep. Don't know why I ever believed that. I had mirrors. I don't know why I ever believed that, but I did. So here we are. So let's see, is that everything that this person sent to us?
Yes, those are the three topics they requested we talk about.
Nice. And so I remember. So I told my girlfriend about this podcast, right?
Yes.
And she listened to it, and she sent fan mail, I guess, to be dumb.
Let me jump in real quick. Okay. So we had just released our for the pilot episode 0 and episode 1. And so the next day, right? It was Sunday.
Uh-huh.
I think yeah, Sunday. Um our email, the weekend opinions email. So I was looking at it and I got a notification and it was like this person. So let me read what she said. So she sent us fan mail. Um, and so give me a second. Let me find it. Okay. So it says, "Dear Weekend Opinions, I can't wait to hear what you guys are going to do, what you guys are going to release next, and I am very much in. And hold on, I cannot read right now. Let me restart. I cannot wait to hear what you guys are going to release next, and I very much enjoyed what you have done so far. I don't have anything to suggest, but I wanted to email and say I loved it and will be recommending your podcast to everyone I know." And so I text Coulter and I was like, "Coulter, look at our email. We got our first fan mail." I was like super excited. And so I called him, right? And he looked at it and he was like, "Oh, that's my girlfriend." And
Well, it's super
I
funny
mean,
because you're like, we got fan mail, and I instantly went to go check the email. Right, I was like, oh, cool. I want to see who got it, and you were
uh,
super excited. You called me,
I
And
did call
I
you.
looked at it and I was like, oh, it's my girlfriend.
Which is
I
still
don't know why she
awesome
did that.
which is still awesome that she sent fan mail. Thank you. But like it's so if receiving fan mail from someone related to you is like at the bottom, like doesn't count as at all as fan mail, and receiving fan mail from someone you don't know at all is at the top. Receiving fan mail uh from your girlfriend is like somewhere in between. Like it's
Well,
still
it was great for me. I'm going to totally support her and say it's at the top. But in reality, it's closer to the family.
Yeah, I mean it
That's
doesn't
where it involved.
have the same. I mean it doesn't really count.
It made me happy, but
No, it's still cool that she sent it.
yeah.
It's just like she's your girlfriend, so like she
Mhm.
it's might
Yeah.
be a little biased.
Yeah, of course. But then also, then we got this fan mail from CHR07, who I have no idea who that is.
Yeah,
Um,
uh I had posted something about our podcast on Reddit, and so they responded to it there, and then they said they were gonna send a email to us with some topic suggestions.
okay.
So yeah,
And then, what was it? So, I'm trying. Oh, so we're looking at our like the people who listen to it just
on
because
Spotify, yeah, the
on
Spotify
Spotify,
demographic, and
and 5 people in Australia. I don't. I just want to know how you find this podcast without us
yes,
telling you about it.
yes,
That's the thing I want to know.
thank you so much for listening. That's super awesome. I'm just confused how someone in Australia, how 5 people in Australia found out about our
If you
podcast.
could, I don't know, if you could just tell us the story about how you, because we spelt weekend wrong for the first, in the first, and 2, this is like brand new podcast that isn't great. So I don't know how exactly it works, how you found that, but thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But for the most part, I'm just really confused on how you find this without knowing us directly and us telling you.
Yes. If any of you found it without like so I on my Snapchat I posted a link about it. So I'm sure a lot of people came from there, and also I told a lot of my friends, and I also posted something on Reddit. But if you didn't find this podcast by me or Coulter or our manager Shabelle telling you about it, let us know. Email us. Tell us how you found it, because that is like very interesting to know.
Well, I don't know if it's like a funny story or it was just like I was bored one night and I was scrolling through and just listened to it. But I think it is cool to find out how you find this kind of stuff because we're definitely not suggested for people. I don't think.
Yeah, I like it.
Because
So here's like so the people in Australia like so they're on Spotify and they're like I can't imagine how like there's no way we got suggested to them.
I don't know anyone in Australia.
Neither do I. That's
The down
awesome.
under.
Like this podcast is now officially international. Thank you.
I don't know. We also don't have a ton of people listening. Let's be honest here. We don't have a
But
ton
there's
of people
5 people
listening.
in Australia. So
Yes, it technically is international, but it's not big enough to be recognized anywhere.
it doesn't make sense that it's international, but it is somehow. So like,
Hmm.
shoot us an email if you're one of those 5 people from Australia. Like our email will be in the show notes again, and I'll say it now. It's weekendopinionspodcast@gmail.com, spelled WEAKEND opinions podcast@gmail.com.
We were trying to explain this to Hunter yesterday, or we're trying to
Yesterday.
explain this on
Well,
Wednesday.
yeah. Well, yes.
We were trying to explain it to him.
We record these on Thursday, so yesterday for us was Wednesday. We went to the park with our friend Hunter, and we just hung out for a few hours, and yeah,
Don't worry, social distance, masks on,
yeah
6 feet away.
yeah we told him about the 5 people listening in Australia, and he's like, how? And we're like, I
He
don't
could
know.
not find it either. He had so much trouble spelling it, and he couldn't find it.
Oh
It
yes.
took him a while.
Yes, so he looked it up. He was looking it up, and so we told him it's Weekend Opinions, spelled WEAK, and opinions. And he was searching it, and he could not spell it. Like, it was the most hilarious thing ever.
I wouldn't say the most hilarious thing ever, but
Okay.
it was pretty entertaining. It was
It-
entertaining.
Yes, that was an exaggeration, but it was funny. I laughed.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mm.
I did too.
Sorry, Hunter, for calling you out like that.
We love you. Don't worry. But it's just, I feel like that's one of the most entertaining things that has happened to me in this quarantine, which is kind of sad. But at least I got entertained.
Yes. Speaking about something cool that happened during quarantine, you recently got your license, your provisional, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
And a new car.
yeah. What kind of car is it?
A Volkswagen Jetta, I think. It was in a
Nice.
crash, and the guy fixed. So it was in a crash, and the guy fixed it up, so it's pretty good now. There's a couple of things about it. There's like a stain on the roof. I don't know what it is, but it's actually a really nice car. I drove it yesterday or Wednesday, and it was really smooth, and I liked it a lot. And so I think it's a cool car. I'm glad to have it, and I'm excited to have my license and drive, because I've had my parental license for over a year, because I went up to Colorado to play hockey and I didn't get all my hours in.
Mhm.
So then
Your learner's permit, right? Yeah.
Learner's permit. Yeah, learner's, not learner's permit. And then I got my provisional like not that long ago, but it took me forever to get it, because I was up in Colorado and I wasn't driving, getting hours in. So
Yeah. Yeah, I got mine. So I had my learner's permit for a while as well. It took me a while to get the 50 hours in. And then I got my provisional probably around a little bit after Christmas, around then, maybe January. I'm not sure. So I've had it for a little while, and it's been really nice being able to drive, and just like not having to rely on my parents to take me places. Like if they're busy, I can just go and drive myself somewhere.
mm-hmm. And also it's a little easier to make plans,
Significantly easier.
because if you can drive yourself there, you don't have to make a time that works for your parents,
Right.
because it can work for you
Mhm.
and the person you're meeting. So it works. I like it. It's a little more freedom. So I'm excited to have it.
Yeah. Speaking of Colorado, how you play hockey there, Tomorrow I'm leaving to Colorado for a baseball tournament. Yeah,
Nice.
it's gonna be
Oh,
it's gonna
where
be
is it?
on um somewhere in Colorado.
Colorado Springs or Denver?
I the lot so this is my only my second tournament this year. The
Mhm.
first one was also in Colorado. It was in Colorado Springs. I'm not sure where this one is. I'm not the one that's going to be driving there. I don't need to know where it is. It's just somewhere in Colorado, 6 hours from here.
So that's probably Springs. No, Springs is like 5.
I don't know. It's
Denver?
somewhere in Colorado.
No, but I played hockey in Colorado Springs all year. Um, I lived in a, I lived in right a city, not a city, yeah, Falcon. It's called Falcon, and it's right outside of Colorado. It's in the middle, Colorado Springs, and it's in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
So it was maybe 20, 30 minutes to actually get to practice.
Oh man, that's
But
tough.
the family I lived with was super awesome. They were the best. Um, I I loved. They're awesome, and it was worth it. It was nice. I went to school there. And it was a nice school. It was like a. It was kind of a big school. It's bigger than I was used to, but it was. I liked it. So it was a
Yeah.
bit far, but worth it. I got to go play hockey. I stayed with an awesome family, so
Hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. That's that is super cool. Uh, yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I'm really excited about this tournament. It's so like I said, because of everything that's been going on, most tournaments have been canceled and stuff. Like I didn't get to play baseball for my school this year. The season was canceled after the our first game, so it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to go out there and play. Like baseball is a pretty socially distant sport, so it's one of the ones that has still been able to happen in a few places. Like in New Mexico, there's not allowed to be any baseball games, but that's why we're going to Colorado. So I'm really excited about that. We leave tomorrow. We're going to be up there for 3 days, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are you gonna have to wear a mask when you play, or
When you're in the dugout, you have to. On the field, you don't.
okay, that makes sense. I
Hmm.
mean, you're pretty social distance out on the
Yeah,
field,
on the field, you're nowhere near anyone
unless you're on base. You're a batter on base.
unless you're a batter on base. But then, even then, it's less than 6 feet, but like it's only for a little bit, and like it's fine.
Oh. Yeah,
Also, they take your temperature before, so
that's not always effective
yeah,
though, because
I know, but like for the most part, it's safe. It's as safe as that
yeah,
can be without a ton of funding. Like
that makes sense. That makes sense.
like they can't be giving us uh be testing us before every game there because they don't. That's expensive to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That obviously that makes sense. It just kind of it's weird.
Hmm.
'Cause it's just weird with all of this, just to have to do things differently.
Yeah,
You know?
it is. Like, for example, like, so actually, in a few minutes after we finish recording this, I'm going to pick up my new glasses. And so something different with the place where I'm picking them up from is you have to schedule a meeting beforehand, and like you have to go at that time. Like in the past, you could have just shown up anytime to pick them up, but we had to schedule a meeting for when I was going to go get them.
Well, a lot of places are doing that now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was, yeah, just an
Why can't we
example.
just be like New Zealand? Just shut down for 2 weeks and it's all good.
We tried that, but not everyone. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, New
So,
Zealand did it.
well, hold on. So I think this is a good spot to end it. Because like I said, in a little bit I have to go pick up my glasses. So
Hmm.
think this is where we're ending it today. We Coulter, would you like to talk about our Patreon page?
Yes, so we have a Patreon page. Not that we expect anyone to donate, but we just have it just in case.
That's,
And there's 3 levels, right?
yes, there are 3 levels. Yeah, so we created this page just in case any of you are enjoying it enough where you would like to support us so that we can make higher quality recordings. Like currently, we don't have mics. We're just recording this on Zoom, and so we do not have a high budget at all. So, I mean, we made it just in case anyone enjoys it enough where they'd like to support us. Of course, you do not have to at all. This podcast is and always will be free, but yeah,
Mhm.
like Coulter said, there are 3 tiers. So they each offer the same benefits. They're each $5. So whichever one you if you do choose to donate or become a Patreon, so it's $5 for each tier, and each tier offers access to our Discord server. And so they're called Host Esteban, Host Coulter, and Host Neither. So it's like a way to vote on which of us you'd like as the host, like how at the beginning of the podcast we have the gag where I say I'm the one true host and that Coulter here is not a host. So if you join our Patreon, that is a way you could vote on who you'd want to be on the host. So if you become a member of Hostess of One, that means you're voting for me to be the one true host and Coulter to be our special guest. He would still be in every episode, of course. It's just a title. And you'd also get to be on our Discord server. And then the same with host Coulter. If you do that one, it's just the opposite. You still get the Discord benefits. And yeah.
That's the best one to vote at.
No, it's definitely not. You should definitely, if you do, you don't have to, but if you do, host Esteban, trust me. And then host neither is if you think we should both be special guests and no host, and basically total chaos. Who knows if that one gets the most? Who knows what would happen?
Yeah, that might be the most fun.
No, do not encourage them. We do not want that.
Then why'd you put it?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I say
don't do
go
that.
for it.
Do
See
not
what
do that.
happens.
Mm-mm,
See
no.
what happens, right? Then we have no host. And
Everyone's
what
a
if we did
guest.
this? What if we did this? We pick one person who emails us and we'll do whatever they tell us to do in the podcast. We'll talk about whatever they want us to talk about in the podcast. We kind of did that today, right? We kind of did that today.
Well, we're gonna do that no matter what.
Yeah.
So we're gonna read everyone's. If anyone emails us, we're gonna read every piece of fan mail we get. Like I said, our email is weekendopinionspodcast@gmail.com. weekend with an A. So we'll address anything you guys want us to talk about, regardless of if you're a Patreon or not. But so I don't know. Continue with what you were saying.
Oh no. I was just thinking maybe they could have a ridiculous request on there, and we choose one if there's no host. I don't
Maybe
know.
we'll
Maybe I'm
discuss it.
saying it's a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying it's set in stone. I'm just saying who knows what could happen if there was no host.
Yeah, no one knows.
No one knows. But you should totally vote for Coulter if you do.
Host Esteban. Vote for Host Esteban.